Welcome, welcome. This is normally the time when we'd switch over to theater mode here and start talking about whatever we're about to get into, but it's a different kind of night. I'm actually making a video, hopefully worthy of YouTube, not just a recording of the session tonight, but something a little more special. This is the kind of thing that I was hoping to be able to do when I first set up this way back Wednesday thing. And so we've got a little bit of show and tell. In fact, we're going to forgo the whole theater thing, and we're going to go ahead and expand the picture to something a little bigger so we can see some stuff. I am listening to this game running in my head. We're going to be playing Time Bandit tonight. Well, you probably saw the title. So where is that? Wait a minute. There it is. I meant to move that down. Time Bandit is a classic game at this point, I guess. I remember playing this thing for years. One of my favorite computers ever was the Atari ST, and I seem to be quite in the minority about that because, I don't know, everybody else... I mean, the whole microcomputer scene in England was very different than the one from North America, and so in England, everybody remembers the BBC Micro because they kind of had to because it was at school with them, and so they all programmed in BBC Basic and stuff like that. The Acorn was big and popular over there too, but and still lives on. The ARM processor that's in your phone, that's in servers, that's in the new Macintosh stuff, that's ARM is Acorn Research something, whatever it is. It's the same processor. It's the new versions of a much older architecture than most things around. That game is just going and going. Let me go ahead and mute that thing because it's just nothing but background noise there. With that, we will probably keep that very low when we finally get around to the playthrough. Anyway, here in North America, it was all about the Commodore. The Commodore was the king and sold a bazillion units. I mean, it was like the classic Mustang, the original thing. Everybody had a Commodore. I don't remember ever having a Commodore, but I remember Dad talking about it as if we had had one at some point, but I don't remember ever using it. I remember having my Atari ST, which again was not a super popular machine, but that was the first computer I remember learning to use, learning to do a little bit of basic programming on, learning to set up some programs and put the disk in and run them. My mother would even come and get me and say, come set up the robot game for me so I can play. It was Robot Attack. There were no graphics on that game. It was just, text stuff only. But there was a lot of things that you could do with text. Blocks and stuff. There was no colors, no anything. So to go from something like that to the Atari ST with its sounds and voices and music and color and all of that kind of stuff, it was everything you wanted for a video game console and a computer at the same time. I mean, what did you expect from Atari besides good video games, right? Well, for a while at least. We won't talk about E.T. here. Anyway, you couldn't really talk about Atari. For as good as this was and as cheap as this was, you'd think it would have been more popular. You'd think a lot more people would have had the same computer I did. It was an amazing piece of machinery for not much money. And I think somebody told me it was like, it would have been in today's dollars like 1,400 or something like that, which is not bad for what it was back then. The problem was everybody else had a much better computer. Everybody else had the Amiga. The Amiga was the big rival here in North America for the Atari ST. And yeah, it was a more powerful computer. It had a better operating system. It had a better everything, basically. It was just, everything about it was better. But if you were back then trying to write your games with so many different systems, so many different architectures, you had to pick which one you're going to write for. And pretty much anything that ran on the ST would also run on the Amiga. Well, then you just write the ST version, and even though they have a better computer, they end up just running the ST version of the game anyway. And so, yeah, we held back the progress a little bit in that respect. So it didn't really matter if you had a much more powerful system. This thing was great, and it lasted. It lasted us all the way into. Oh, geez, how? I think we finally got into DOS computers in. I want to say the mid to early 90s. And welcome, welcome. Got another viewer here. And this thing was still going strong. In fact, I still have my Atari ST. It's on the shelf up there. It probably still works. I got on the internet with this thing. I had a 1200 baud modem, and I would get on CompuServe. I would get on lots of stuff with that. It was just a wonderful experience for me. But I remember the games. I remember the word processors. It had a printer. I mean, it was a good computer. It was a great computer. Lasted forever. Anyway, what was I talking about? I'm gonna ramble a little bit. Oh, even more viewers. Welcome, welcome. So, Time Bandit was one of the games that I sunk a lot of time into. In fact, I want to show you something. I want to show you. Let's go to the big camera here. I want to show you this box right here. This is a very old box. This is a very old box with the dust cover falling off of it a little bit, and inside this falling apart dust cover that looks a whole lot like that picture you could see a minute ago. Inside this very old box, there's a very old manual, and under that very old manual is a very old disc, copyright 1995. And this is the game I'm going to be playing tonight. So don't get on to me about having downloaded it or used an emulator or anything like that. Regardless of the legality of abandonware, I've got the game. I've been playing this thing forever. Now, I also want to read a little bit out of the manual, because back then the games came with really cool stuff to read. Sometimes they came with music, sometimes they came with toys, sometimes they came with maps, sometimes they came with whatever. At the very beginning, the opening of this is what it says. Time Bandit. The legend and lore of the Time Gate War. The Time Gates were built by a powerful race to study the reaches of all time and space, reclaiming the lost archives of old and learning the lessons tomorrow's worlds hold. These lords of time did not interfere, afraid that ghastly effects would appear. To alter the course of natural time was believed to be the most sinister crime. But some insisted on using the gates to become guardians and change the fates of all the worlds and all their souls, and seized the time gates for these goals. These guardians rode on a wave of change through castle, starship, and desert range. The riches they found were beyond all measure. Taken by greed, they hoard their new treasure. Into all the confusion the Time Bandit goes, that's us. Among the guardians he finds only foes, for he takes the treasures they wish to own and carries them off for reasons unknown. The creators offer the bandit a dare, taking a strength, skill, and cunning so rare. Will the challenge be met by a true champion, or will the bandit flee, admitting we've won? The first task is to find the great artifacts that the guardians stole from the treasury racks. Great beauty and meaning these artifacts hold, giving prestige and power to the bandits so bold. A real master can actually conquer a maze by defeating 4D, its most ominous phase. The gates can be broken one by one, but reaching the end has never been done. And I believe it. I've spent half a lifetime playing this thing. And you say, well, you're just not good at it. Games back then were so hard. Yeah, you have no idea how hard games back then were. In fact, I have something else to show you to that effect. Let me just put this really old dust cover back on this really old box with a really old disc in it. We shall set that aside. I told you I still had an Atari ST up on the shelf. I also have a floppy disk drive from that same Atari ST. And what's in the drive? Oh, look, there's another very old disc with a handwritten label. This disc says that it contains neochrome Neochrome 9 was an art game, way ahead of its time, painting game, could do animations and all that kind of stuff. Remember, this is 1985. It also says Super Time Bandits, written in handwriting here, gives infinite lives. This is a hack, a crack, actually, for the Time Bandits game. I don't know if this disc is still readable. I am desperately searching for some way to get the information off of this disc. I've been keeping it safe for decades. It's the only copy I've ever heard of, and I got it on a handwritten disc from a guy at a computer store in Houston, Texas called Computers to Grow in 1985 or 1986. I don't know where he got it from, but if you loaded what was on this disc first and then the game that we're about to play, it would give you, like it says, infinite lives. And even with that, and decades of playing, I've never even come close to finishing this game. Even if you don't have to worry about any of the guardians, any of the bad guys, the things that kill you, even if you don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, just solving the mazes and solving the puzzles becomes more and more challenging each playthrough. Each time you play through, the map changes. First you play it facing north, then south, then east, then west. Then it goes into stage 2. More of the map opens up, and you play it north, south, east, and west. Then stage 3, then stage 4. There are so many different games on here. Each of the time gates is something completely different. Something that you... where'd the thing go? Put that back here. This one right here is called Dark Side Dare. It doesn't have any other thing. It's just, as you walk through what is normally just black space, the walls appear as you hit them. Here's Major Hazard, some kind of military base. There's one in here called Shadowland. It looks a whole lot like Pac-Man. It's another one of the levels that's in there. There's one called Excalibur, where you enter a ship that looks a lot like the Enterprise and has a... there's no humans in the game, but as you read things, you find that there was a engineer with a thick Scottish accent. So... you know exactly what they were going for on that. But then you leave the ship. You end up, as the map unfolds, you end up going to planets. You end up warping off somewhere, fighting Klingons, fighting all kinds of stuff. Here's the bomb factory. And each one of these levels has just tons and tons of stuff. And you can't even, it won't let you play what you want. You want to just conquer one of the gates and finish it off completely before you move on to the next one? No. See these little ships that are out there moving around? If one of those UFOs touches you, it will send you into a random one. Probably one that you haven't been into very much before. So you have to play all of this stuff. And besides the difficulty, like I said, of the game play itself, the lore, the clues, the unlocking things, finding where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do, picking stuff up, talking to people. There's a bit of AI, not much, but... it's stuff that's there. You have to interact with things. You have to make choices. There's good and bad endings to these things. I've seen a lot of the story, but I've killed off a bunch of the gates in different ways, but I've never. I don't know how they did this thing. They programmed it so that it would take actual years and years of play, and I'm still playing this thing. I'm 40-something years old now, and I'm still playing this thing, and I have no way to complete it. But in addition to that, you have limited lives. And so every time something hits you, it takes away one of those lives, and when they're gone, they are gone. So we're not going to get very far into this, but we're going to get to see it for a little while. So with that said, one of the tricks that they use with these old games like this is to have a good chunk of the screen taken up by things that don't move. You can see the programming and graphics, Bill Dunleavy and Harry Lafner. Qubits is your score. I'm not entirely sure what they thought that means. An actual cubit is a measure of distance, like a foot or an inch. Things that you're holding on to. This guy has a key. The number of lives are those dudes that are there in the line. You can get more guys from getting your score up, but as you'll see, it's going to be pretty impossible to actually, really conquer this game. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. and see if I can get into the game. Q to quit demo. One for one person. So you can have a two-person thing, but then you have even smaller pieces of the screen to see. Why can't I move? Uh-oh. Hold up. Hold up. I probably have it on joystick mode. Can we do Q to quit? Yes. It does. It's on joystick mode. Okay, let's see. Keyboard. Bandit 1's controller is keyboard. Let's try that. Arrow keys, left, right, up, down. Space bar to fire. That's it. An Atari joystick is just an up, down, left, right rocker switch with a single button for your thumb. And so most games were made with that controller in mind. Let's just look at the sign here. These are the time gates that we can go into. Castle Greymoon has an incredibly detailed story. Excalibur has a story I've never seen to the end of. I don't remember which is which, but one or two of the ones in Sentinel, Cheops Curse, and Guardian, there's some things in there. I remember I got to one. There was a puzzle where the thing asked me a riddle, and I had to answer it, and I never figured out the riddle. It said, in a room with two lids, they awaken at night, a pageant of scepters bringing wonder and fright. What are they? And you just had to type something in. And I never got past that. And if I ever get to it again, my next attempt of an answer is going to be dreams. In a room with two lids that awaken at night, right? But it's been years since I've even seen that. I don't even remember where it is or how to get there. Hotel California has a bit of a story as well. You don't have to do the story. A lot of these things, at least in the beginning levels, you don't have to engage. You can just run through, grab the key, and get back out, and that's fine. But some of them, at least in the later levels, force you to start going through other things. Others, like Shadowland and Gridville, and I think Omega Complex, and Darkside Dare. Darkside Dare, the maze gets worse and worse, but that's it. It doesn't actually get deeper into the story. But Excalibur for sure, Hotel California for sure. No. Maybe Ghost Town, I think, is the one I'm thinking of. And then one of the Egyptian or desert ones and stuff like that, they get really, really deep, and then as you get into the thing, they force you to go into the story. So first, let's pick something. Let's go to Shadowland. It's the only one where you can't shoot. So I'm going to go in here. Now, can you guys hear the sound? I don't know what the sound is doing from the game. It should be an annoying Pac-Man type sound right now. Do-do-do-do-do-do kind of stuff. See that red guy right there? It's a shadow. If you're playing two-player and you lose all your lives, you can still run around. You become a shadow. Just like one of those. I didn't get an answer. Can anybody hear the sound from the game while I'm doing this? Okay, and now we can just play normally. If the sound from the game gets too annoying, then just let me know and I will make further adjustments. But for right now, let's go check out Ghost Town. The more you shoot while you move, or the more you move, your points goes up. See, Daring says I get 30 points for every kill. As I run around, though, Fearless is 40. If I'm shooting while I'm running around, it'll eventually go up to Psychotic. Foolhardy, Psychotic. Look at the graveyard stuff here. Watch what happens if I step on a... If I tread too much onto graves. There you go. See the ghost comes out? Watch what happens when I shoot the ghost. Did you see it? It was just for real quick. Here's a sign. Old Tombstone Cemetery. Warning, mean spirits at large, don't stay too long and try not to trot on the graves. Yeah, that happens. And yet, I know right now that eventually something is going to make me have to go and get a handful of grave dirt later on in this. There are things like that ruby right there. If you pick up any of the... Each time you pick one up, that's 100 points. The next one that I pick up, see the spider can't move for a minute? Every time you pick up a treasure, it stuns the critters. Lock way out. Okay. Every time you pick up a treasure, it doubles the score. So the first one's 100, then 200, then 400. Is it double or is it just 100 more? I think no. I think I'm thinking of Mario. That's it. Just 100, 200, 300. and so on for each of those. Ooh, save game. S to save. Which buffer? That's nice. Does it need another disk? No. Okay, good. We saved a game. And we've already got one of these guys. You can shoot them away a little bit, but there will be more. Let's go to the ship here, the Excalibur. And yeah, the screen is dim. That's part of the game. As you look at the crew bulletin board, you sense a strange silence enshrouding the ship. There are no crew members in sight. You cannot hear the engines or feel the slightest breeze from the air vents. The bulletin board contains the usual daily reminders. Record all important actions on your desk log. Never transport objects into deep space. Use only simple verb-noun commands when talking to the computer. INV, list the items that you are carrying. The only life on board seems to be of a very familiar, very hostile nature. Escape to exit. Ain't that the truth? And look, this one doesn't have spiders and snakes. It's got weird-looking little droids. Each of these chairs I can sit in. Sitting at the desk, you see indications that the ship is on battery power only. Various monitors show that the orbit is decaying. External hull temperature is rising, and time, as always, is running out. You scan the panels for important data and learn how to use the desk logs. The emergency lights dim as the batteries try to match the drain, but the message is played. Helmsman's log. Recorded 8609 point something to, I guess. What? I don't know what that one is. S. Recorded 8609.S2, because you can see it's the same as the S in at the end of distress there. Set course for the planetoid Voracious 12. Divert to intercept vessel in distress. Resume to orbit Voracious 12. Continue to adjust for orbital decay. The active heading is 126R, and I will write that down because that's the kind of game this is. I don't need this hard drive anymore. I used to own a pencil. Oh, it's right here in front of me. Okay. Next to the paper. Who knew? All right, so our current thing is 126R. All right. If you put in another heading, it might do bad things. You just hit escape to exit. We'll talk another chair here. Weapons defense log. Recorded who knows what. Phaser firing pin damaged in testing. Yellow alert issued on heating distress call. Canceled upon successful rescue. Emergency red alert. Alien invader. Shields destroyed. Evacuate. And is gone. Press escape. Here's the captain's chair. Captain's log. Current mission. Investigate the strange activity on the planetoid Voracious 12. On reaching the area, we heeded a distress signal from a vessel caught in an energy web. We responded to the emergency and discovered an alien device at the center of the field. We're beaming this device into the hangar bay for further study. Command. Look around. At the moment, that's highly illogical. I don't know. INV. You have your wits. Well, that's not much. There's another chair. Science officer's log. Captain, the merchant vessel was trapped in an intense energy field, a grid-like web feeding local power into one point. Their ship could not handle the stress, but I detect no significant threat to the Excalibur. Fascinating. There seems to be a solid mass at the center of the field. From the energy patterns, I'd say it is a sophisticated time-space warp device, definitely alien. And up here, communications log. Received distress call, switch to audio, hailing Excalibur, emergency code 128N. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to write it down. Distress 128N. I don't know if I'll need that or not. Ship is disintegrating. Help us. Send. Excalibur acknowledges. Stand by for coordinates. Transport when ready. Just moments later, the Excalibur sends its own frantic call. Hailing Starfleet emergency. We're under attack. Please acknowledge. Is anyone out there? There's no reply. The rest is silent. Send code. See, I've never even done this before. What if I type 128 in? Subspace static is the only response. Okay, I've never used that station before. If I remember the right command, you'll find eventually that there's a ring lodged in the captain's chair, but I won't be able to pick it out without something. The answer to this puzzle right here, that's the teleporter. The answer to this puzzle right here is to go down the nacelle, take this diamond, pick up the key, and then unlock the lock and just leave. There's the way out. But as I was showing you, there's a lot of other stuff to do. Here is the transporter pad. Here's the transporter chair. This is the transporter room. The desk log has been erased. A close inspection shows the transporter was used just as you arrived. The coordinates were rigged to reset after use, and that low and thin power makes and low power makes safe beaming uncertain. So I'm not going to touch it. If you go on there, you end up back here with one less life. And here's a door over here. Remember they said they put something weird in the cargo bay? A voice from at the security door, you hear a woman's voice over the speaker. Hello, dear. You know I'd love to let you through, but I have my programs to follow. No one gets by without the captain's approval. You wouldn't want to get a poor circuit in hot water now, would you? Of course not. Get the proper clearance or be a dear and run along. If I can get that ring out of the chair, I should be able to show her that I have captain's clearance. Engineering log. Captain, we're under attack. I was in the back of the nacelle fixing a firing pin with a bit of bent wire when all of a sudden these creatures came in out of nowhere. They smashed our dilithium crystals. We're out of power. The captain replies, why are you talking like that? Evacuate everyone to the lower deck and seal off the lift. We'll be safe there for a while. The crystal tanks are open and empty. And if you get deep enough into the game, we'll find a planet where I can harvest some dilithium crystal and restore power to the ship. He was in the back of the nacelle fixing the firing pin, huh? With a bit of bent wire. While searching the back of the nacelle, you come across a makeshift work area. Technical components lay scattered about in various stages of repair. Among them, a phaser firing pin. Bits of wire strewn about bent into crude forms. Get pin. It's no use. It's broken. Fix pin. You begin working with the device, with the firing pin. It's composed of fine, delicate fiber components. You may have done more damage simply by handling it. You need tools. You put the firing pin down. Get wire. You pick up a sturdy piece of wire. Fix pin. You begin working. It doesn't fix pin with wire. Use wire. It's got to be real simple. Only a genius or a lunatic would attempt such a complex task. That's me! The firing pin has 999 numbered wiring holes. Into which one would you like to insert your bit of bent wire? I choose 564. You hear a grinding crunch. A tiny part falls to the floor, conveniently rolling into some unreachable area. You set the firing pin aside. Nothing else occurs. I've never been able to do anything better than that. I've spent half a day just going through each of those 900 things, one after another. Never had time enough to reach the end. Somebody else would want the computer, or a new day would happen. Something. Look at that. A new piece of information. You can just see the edge of a metal ring lodged between the seat cushions. Get ring. The crack is too narrow. Use wire. You retrieve a Starfleet Academy ring worth 500 cubits. The stone is cut to resemble the key of enlightenment. All this, and I'm still trying not to die here. And I just died. We go down. Alright. Show ring. Sorry, darling, that won't work. Use ring. You're free to enter. You've made a simple door very happy. Now, you remember those two weird-looking things that were in there? If you shoot one, it unleashes a horde of droids. So let's see if we can get through this without really fast-moving ones, too. There we go. And we found a book, Captain's Log, Supplemental. This is recorded in the hope that it may somehow fall into friendly hands. The Excalibur has been invaded by a hostile force. Both communications and counterattack have been futile. Casualties to security and engineering personnel have forced us to evacuate to the lower decks. The aliens will be through soon. We are beaming down to Voracious 12, but it may prove just as hostile. I hope as an account to possible rescuers, I include our landing position. I only hope that my ring has escaped the enemy. The coordinates are 584 X-ray. Okay. Landing 584 X-ray. I will activate the security door upon leaving this room, and so he did. But you see how like we had the way out like way long ago. This is all extra stuff. 584X. 584X to beam down. New coordinates. Let's do it. And we're on a ship with new enemies that are moving pretty quickly. And a hole. I'm going to go down the hole. We're in the caverns. We're trying not to die. We found a book. Captain of the Excalibur. We have been captured by the Klingons in an overt act of war. They have annexed the planet with no regard for its status and attacked the crew of a Federation starship, and now they plot to raid the genetic research labs of Starbase 4 at heading 182 Delta. Okay. Research. Base. 182 Delta. And these numbers, you can't just memorize them. You have to go and find the things. Each time you play the game, the numbers are randomly generated. There may yet be time to stop them, but under the circumstances, we need a miracle. Yeah, well, I just need to survive long enough to continue demoing the game here. Oh, look. Crystals. You come across a natural fissure lined with dazzling blue crystals. With your pocket tricorder, you notice a curious double helix structure resembling DNA in the crystal's geometry. Too bad. That makes them too brittle to have joule or tool value, but I know what they are. Get crystals. You scoop up a large handful of the warm crystals. After all, they are pretty. And we moving along. Up, that gray blob turns into a bunch of red blobs. Again, you can stay in one place and try to fire stuff off, but more will come, so it won't really help a whole lot to do that. And your score goes down the more... Oh, there was a sign there. Did we read the sign? Oh, crud. Notice, to all Federation members, leave at once! As to the neutrality of this planetoid, forget it. Voracious 12, home of the vicious Watch Tribbles. Incidentally, one of the only creatures capable of mutual tolerance with our species, is hereby claimed by the Klingon Empire. Direct any questions to the native population. Trespassers shall be eaten alive. Sell Krugel or whatever, something or other. Escape to exit. Let's try to get out of here. So like I said, sitting in place, finding a good spot to stand and just sit there and shoot things as they come. Eventually your score, right now mine is at Brave 30. It'll go all the way down to 0, so it won't do you any good. You have to keep on the move. Now I've got some dilithium crystal. The crystal tanks are open and empty. Use crystal. Does not compute. Inventory. You have your wits. Crystals. Use crystals. Full power has been restored. You remember how dim the ship was? The crystals sparkle when hooked to the tanks. The lighting returns to normal. The power meters read at maximum levels. And look at that. We can go places now. In fact... I can remember which one of these was Helm. New heading. Let's head for research base at 182D. And I'm telling you, like, I just know most of this stuff, but imagine trying to work your way through these puzzles and figure them out the first time. The engines roar, the ship vaults over warp space, appearing before an oddly dark Starbase 4. Another vessel comes into view. It's a Klingon dreadnought. Sensing you, it swivels sharply, locking all weapons. Its shields activate. It awaits your move. Press escape. Send code. I don't know what the hailing code is. 128 in. Computer. Ooh, a computer voice responds and acknowledges you have permission to board. Use transporter setting 188J. Okay. Research base. Beam down. 188 Juliet. All right. Not Q to quit. Escape. So now we're heading to a starbase. 188 Juliet. That was right. 188, yeah. Okay. Whoosh. And here we are at another level. It's crazy. These arrows mean one-way trip. You can go through the door that way, but not back. We have a chair. You try to operate the station's research computer, but you find it unwilling to cooperate. What's your security clearance? Oh yeah, prove it. You don't have. Why don't you beam out into deep space? Wow. I would love to tell this computer exactly what it can do with a lifetime supply of chocolate, but I don't know the commands for that. So we'll continue on our way. And the way out is going to end up with more locks, and you'll have to come to places like this in order to get, the key will end up in one of these things or something. You're standing before you is a large crate. The Federation packing order lists the contents as industrial machine parts, life support equipment, and guidance control components. That means we might have a pin in there. Nope, not now. Try that one. Same. Same. And weapons control pins. Get pin? You can't do that now. Open crate. The lid is secured. But you manage to wrench it off, breaking only a few of the slats. There's no one nearby, but there's no one in the crate, but you hear voices nearby. Get pin. You now have a phaser control firing pin secured to your belt. Nice. What is this one? Guidance control components, life support equipment. Open crate. Can't do that now. I think I got what I was meant to find here. All the rest of them are the same. This... Okay, so the one that you saw over there will let me beam back to the ship. This that takes a longer set of coordinates is the long-range transporter. That's a thing from Star Trek. You had a much longer range. You could beam like planet to planet or something within the solar system, I think, using a long-range transporter. It says right here, this long-range transporter system has the power to reach some of the farthest asteroids in the region if you have the coordinates, but the log right now is empty. And I don't know where to get more from, and I don't want to touch the thing. Let's beam back to the ship. Now, what do we have? We have the phaser firing pin. Let's go see if we can... full power has been restored. Use pin. Does not compute. INV, you have a firing pin, a wire, a ring, and your wits. I'm not sure what to put in here. Or maybe it's not here. Maybe it's in the back of the nacelle where we put the firing pin for some reason. There it is. Okay, so now that power has been restored, there's a freaking force field here. We're going to have to do it. That's 6 lives lost. 3 to get in, 3 to get out. Ah, man. And it didn't do us any good. This is definitely not where we're supposed to be. Yeah, that's so bad. Maybe we can do it from the bridge for all the sense that makes. Weapon stuff. Okay. Use pin. Oh, there we go. When you insert the firing control pin, a number of red lights change to green. The phasers are ready for operation. Fire phasers? We got that ship out there, right? The phasers are simply absorbed by the Klingon shields. They find it amusing. I have no idea where to go from here. I don't have anything else. Can we hail the Klingons? I can't believe they let me shoot at them without just, you know, being the end of it there. Send code. 128N is the only code that I have. Research base. That was a heading. That was a landing thing. Dunno. Just dunno. We exit. Alright. That ship is after me. Let's go to the arena. Actually, you know what? Let's go to... We've only got 4 lives left. Let's go here, because I believe with the amount of stuff I can do here, I can at least pick up 1 or 2 lives just from the sheer number of points that I can pull out of this particular level. Crap. Five lives. Oops. Well, even with losing one, I came out with 1 extra. But the more I go in there, the faster those guys will get. Let's save the game. To buffer number 1. All right. And let's head to Castle Greymoon. Castle Greymoon. There's the shepherd. We got snakes. We got weird eyeball things. Let's talk to the dude. And you got to imagine, when I was much younger playing this game, I had no interest in reading these screens. This is very new. A young shepherd greets you. Welcome, stranger. Do you want to talk, or are you here on business? I just want to talk, man. Why can't anybody just talk anymore? I'll tell you the story of Greymoon. This was once a happy land. King Quark ruled wisely, and Kelvashan kept the land pure. Kelvashan is a unicorn. Then came the sorceress, pledging to help the king defeat an evil foe. Instead, she betrayed the king and trapped Kelvashan, but they say that Kelvashan escaped, though no one knows where. The king will give 10,000 cubits for finding him, and the sorceress offers 25,000, but those are not the only options. Yeah. This weird thing right here, check it out, the sign. The Mad Hermit will see guests only when the sun sets in the east. Guess what that means? Right now what it means is this is just going to throw me out. Watch this. Way over there. But let's grab us a key. Crap. Let's get us out of here. Oh, I need another key. Ah, dang it. You can see why the unlimited lives thing is so important to me to get back. Because I'm absolutely terrible at just running through this. But let's do it again. Running over here, and being sent back, right? Oh, we knew that was going to happen. Key. I've got to be a little more careful, or this stream is going to end way early. Unlock with the key. And now there's a ladder. That wasn't there before. Before, there was just a key right here. But if we take down this ladder, what do we see here? Bad things. Things that kill me. This is just one of the towers, but there's nothing in it yet. Okay. Now, does the sun set in the east? We're 180 degrees rotated from the first time we came here. And look where we found ourselves. We might be able to find the Mad Hermit. There he is. Oh, I killed a rock. Standing on a pile of rubble. What now? I don't know. Hello and welcome. A yellow-eyed hermit speaks to you. I am the caretaker of these caves. Care to liven an old man's day with a game of cards? Sure. Fine, we'll play a game of suits. The first hand is clubs. Let's see. A club is for warriors and socialites. Showing a great range of intellect. Well then, we'll test your cunning. Here's a tricky one. In this room are a number of items. We'll both select one. He who finds the best symbol of a club wins. You go first. Just stand at the item that you choose. That is not my selection. Neither is that. I'm just trying to freaking clear out the place a little bit. No. No. The torch. Yes. The torch, good choice. I see nothing that would make a better club. You win the first round. And all of this I have to do while dealing with those monsters. Come back later for the next hand. Good day. Escape. Okay, he's gone now. I can explore a little bit, but each time I see him, there's four suits, and there's only 4 times I'm ever going to see him. 1C, 2C, 3C, and 4C. The levels only each time, like it says when the sun... Man. I can't even go through this arrow now. Gotta go all the way back here. I'm gonna die. I have 1 life left. I gotta be careful. And what if I win his game? Or what if I don't, you know? Lots to do here, lots to think about. Get through this. But can I get back out? Ooh, 2 lives. And way out. Alright, here is the king's palace or whatever. Here's the arena. Let's do the arena. Lots of little green barbarian dudes in here. Now check this out. There's 2 locks up here. Both of them lead to the way out right now. But only one will lead to the way out, and the other will lead to the rest of this game. I just remembered that. And you'll have to pick which one with the thing facing different directions each time. Wow. Man. That's why you don't need to congratulate yourself so much. I did it again. Come in here to get more lives, end up with less. What are we on? 1D for Shadowland, so it doesn't go through any major changes, but the rest of them do. Once you get to 2A, it's a whole different thing. Welkin Island is in space. We could go through Darkside Dare. I don't think I have enough. Lives to get through that, even 1 level right now. Omega Complex, Gridville, Major Hazard. I think Major Hazard, for whatever reason, was my favorite when I was little. Let's go Omega Complex. Few points to be had there. Ooh. Alright, Major Hazard. I love the colors. This purple is great. Just being able to run straight to the key. This is what I'm saying. You have any idea how many years of exploration and dying it took to know these maps as well as I do? And we'll do Gridville. You can see why it's called Gridville. After a couple levels in here, there's this big snake thing that starts coming around. Like, right out of the Atari Centipede game. That was Atari, right? That did Centipede? I think it was. I love it when there's a bunch of arrows together. It forces you real fast to go through them. Okay, what else have we not done? Bomb Factory Hotel California. Let's see if we can get there. Hotel California. Again, we're going to take the quick way through because I know where I'm going. but the level does not stay quick or easy. It very, very quickly becomes a maze, and a very difficult maze at that, even with unlimited lives, which I do not have right now. Did we go? We did the ghost town, right? Did we do the ghost? We did the ghost town, so this is 1B, so it's upside down now. Oh man, I forgot the tornado. Okay. Is the key still here? No, the key is in a different place this time. That's okay. I'm pretty sure I know where it is anyway. There it is. I want to show you the jail this time since we're here. We didn't go to the jail last time. We went to the graveyard. There's the jail. Ah! And there's a body in one right there. How to open it? Oh, crud. I forgot to be shooting. That lever should open that cell. The bones of a long-dead outlaw lie at your feet. Examining a pocket, you find a piece of metal stamped with the letter N on it. Noting the letter, you return the metal piece to the bones. Every now and then I find another dead body with another stamp letter, and I've never gotten far enough in this game to know what to do with the stamp. Now, while you're in this cell, player 2 can run over here and hit another level or another thing and lock you actually in the cell. There's nothing you can do about it, but the only cell of interest to go into is this one to see what the letter is. If they lock you in there, then what you can do about it is just continuously ruin the game by going into here and not exiting this screen until they swear they'll let you out. And every time they're going in the wrong direction, you just do that again. So, you know, that's how we play this game. And way out. Okay. The bomb factory. Oh, we did... No, this is the first bomb factory. These things shoot. You notice? Pow. Watch this. Oh, that one was a dud, luckily. But they fire back, and so this becomes a really, really hard level. Sometimes they do in 2 directions, sometimes in all 4, like that, and sometimes it'll just poof and say dud, if you're lucky. So, man, very, very difficult. Where are we now? Let's see. Darkside Dare, gotta do that. King's Crown. I want to save. Again, save, please. Into the buffer number 1. Let's do King's Crown. Eventually I'll get the... Here's a scroll to start with. In search of the King's Crown, the good King Quark, known for his charm, truth, and beauty, has been robbed of his most precious possession. And no, this time we're not talking about the unicorn. That's not his most precious possession. The crown of the universe. The ruthless warlock Defek, known only for his ugly complexity, holds the crown for ransom. The king can never submit to Defek. I assume that's how you pronounce that. Its return, and therefore offers 10,000 cubits for its return. The king warns, however, that's a lot of free lives if you get something like that. The king warns, however, of the warlock's dangerous stronghold. You must endure the deadly crypts, the meandering maze, the guardian's glaives, and the spirit chamber to succeed in recovering the crown of the universe. Good luck, your task is before you. And as you saw, with that just barely scratching the surface of the Star Trek game, these things get really, really deep, really involved. But for now, we're not super involved. We're just going straight to the exit. Okay, we did that. Let's get up to Welkin Island and just slide around. We're in space now, so we don't walk. We just kind of float around. And this one tends to be a pretty good maze. I know that the key is way down at the bottom, but how to get there. And this maze starts opening up wider and wider as you play through. There's a key. I just thought that was cool how he just kind of slips around flying. I am shocked that I haven't lost a life yet in this level. I'll just give it a minute. Almost back up the thing. Yeah, made it back up to the thing. Okay. We didn't do Dark Side Dare either. I'm choosing. See, there's so many of these things now. I even know pretty much the layout of this thing. I just got to actually make it happen without running into these Klingons or whatever they are. Because they can walk through anywhere until a wall appears. Once you hit a wall, then it becomes a wall for them as well. But until then, there we go. I've lost my groove here. I'm getting trapped. By pushing on the walls, you can reveal the whole maze, at least, so you've got that going on. That doesn't make it easy. And out. Okay. Can I get to the save game point without running into one of those dudes? Alright, there's only 3 left to take a look at here. Sentinel, Cheops Curse, and Guardian. Let's save the game again. S to save. Yes. Buffer 1 is just fine with me. Let's go through Shadowland again just to see if we can pick up another life or two. See how much faster everybody's moving now? And 1 gone. Clear out the space around the ghost house here. Ah, crud, I thought he was still blue. Ah, crud, that was just a mistake. So, how many lives did I come in here with? 2? And I got out with 2. That's brilliant. Let's try that again. Dang! Ah, 2 again. Also, the longer you play this, the crap! Okay, so 2 again. The longer you play this, the less time they stay blue whenever you do get a power pellet. Or whatever the equivalent is called here. I don't believe that these things behave like actual Pac-Man ghosts. Leaving just 1 dot somewhere is so bad, it's hard to go back and find. Crap! No, no, no! Oh, I got out with 3 lives this time. Saving. Save. Buffer 1. Okay. So now just to the desert portals. Look at all of those things. We will just head into the Sentinel here and try and live long enough to score a couple of points. And straight for the key, as I do. Oh no, I've already got a key. I couldn't pick that one up. Unlock. Second key. Ah. And to the other one. The Guardian. Now look at all these arrows. I'm going to go through the correct one and head straight for the key. But, you know, that's just me. So how you're going to do this when you play, don't know. Would love to get a 2-player game going on this again, if I could. This is the one that eventually asks me for the riddle. At some point, after going through all 4 of those things, because you have to, that's blocked by a freaking guardian that makes you have to answer a question. This one eventually gets into underground tunnels and has another one of those snake things. That's everything. We did at least one of everything. That's amazing. I actually got through that after all this time, so let's save this. And any requests? Any particular one you want to go see more of? Let's let the UFO choose. Ah, King's Crown. Very nice. Things are blocked off. Things have one-way arrows now that didn't have blocks or one-way arrows before. So now I got to go around a very different way. There's another key, but I can't pick it up yet. Now, that's another great thing if you have a 2-player game going on. Not only does everybody get their own lives, but each of you can carry a key. There is a way for a guy to have actually more than one key at one time, and that's if each player was carrying a key when one of them died and became a shadow, then suddenly you'll find yourself with 2 keys because you'll just quickly inherit the one from the other player, but there's no way to actually pick up a second one other than that. Dang! This is it. Last life. The next thing that touches me will end it. And that spider almost was the one. Crud. I'm going to unpause before I even get to do anything. Ah, there we go. You have died. The adventure is over. And that's a playthrough for Time Bandits when you don't have unlimited lives. Oh, look. I made the... No, I didn't make the leaderboard even. All right. There we go. That's it. Version 2.1. What version does mine say? Now I have to know. Mictron, Pontiac, Michigan. There's even a phone number on this thing. There's more story here as well. Oh, dude. Let's go do story. We'll go to this screen right here. Treasures, Adventures, and Treasury 2. Time was running out. No sound. Alright. Time was running out. It does, you know, even for time travelers. I ran through the crumbling halls of the forgotten castle, the musty grip of ancient medieval air tight in my gasping throat. I had been running for what seemed to be an eternity, running from hideous beasts from the darkest of legends. I already had one of the great keys, capital K, in my hand, its reassuring edge gouging flesh in the strength of my grip. My final goal was painfully close, but so were the razor claws of the shambling nightmares in my pursuit. I could not pause for an instant in defense, for an even deadlier foe was tracing my path through the winding halls. He would surely find me if I lingered an instant longer. I turned the final corner, diving toward the last lock blocking my escape, lock, capital L. I anticipated the rainbow flash of time, displacement, and the heavy smell of ozone soon to be my reward, but with terror that no mortal may ever know, I saw another time bandit emerging from the doorway ahead. My partner in time. That would be player 2. who wears a blue suit instead of this gold one. And this guy fires what looks like rockets, and the blue guy fires what looks like snowballs. It's weird. They do the same thing, though. Do my partner in time. Capital T, time. We'd had disagreements in the past, and the present, and the future as well, but I felt sure that I'd finally run out of time. Leaving barely a heartbeat's time to consider my fate, he fired. Friendly fire is also a thing in this game. You can shoot somebody down and make them a shadow, and that was also something that siblings would do playing this. You need to work cooperatively. You get a smaller screen real estate, but you can each carry a key. It could be a very good thing to have a second player on this, or it could be very bad. Where was I? The resounding blast of impact rockets split the fabric of space, racking my body with pain and the sure knowledge of slow disintegration. But I endured, steadied myself, and fired back. My missiles roared with untamed energy, bouncing off the walls and crackling the air, a few to rest hungrily upon his armor. When the smoke cleared, I was alone. As for my partner, nothing but his shadow remained. Stumbling forward, I inserted the great key into the lock. I stepped into the way out. Way out, man. Also capital letters for that. Returning home at last, but at the time gates there can be no rest. Great wealth and adventure are scattered throughout the lands, but only for those willing to seize it. Where next? Ghost Town? Omega Complex? Walking quickly through the maze of portals, I chose one and entered, welcoming my next adventure. The arcade adventure time bandits, dedicated this to the spirit of the challenger. To those who seek their limits and strive to reach further, to those who go up against the odds and win out through persistence, to those who test themselves against their hopes and yet find time enough to dream, Bill and I, the authors, you can see them on the thing, Bill and Harry, offer the labor of these last 7 months. Only 7 months to put this all together is incredible. In the hope of reaching just a few true challengers. I'm not. I want to cheat real bad. I just want to finish the thing. It is way hard enough without the Unlimited Lives patch. I am not proud. I absolutely am not the challenger they were hoping for. I love the game, but you saw how far I can get, and it doesn't get much better with another playthrough. When rough times tempted us with shortcuts and compromises. Shortcut. I want the shortcut. We couldn't see fit to give any less to the world. Time Bandit has definitely challenged us, and now it's our turn to challenge you. Well, let me tell you this. Even with unlimited lives, it challenges me. It has been for a long time. Special recognition. It takes time to create a work of this magnitude. We have collected many debts on many levels. From the landlord to the playtesters, we recognize your patience and thank you all for your help. One individual in particular merits special credit. Kevin Potts has been with us. Now, in the original game that came straight off the disc, this one that I downloaded for the emulator right here had other names on the board, but when I was putting my name on the board, the top score was always Crazy Kev. Crazy Kev. Kevin Potts has been with us since the beginning, devoting endless hours to play testing, helpful suggestions, and overall moral support. Kevin also designed both of the Sphinxes and put the high score on the disc. Yeah, that would be what I just said. About protection. We're truly sorry it has become necessary for us to copy protect this program. Didn't work, buds, but you do you. We know what an inconvenience protection poses for making personal backups, but software piracy poses a greater threat to Bill and me. If the disk becomes defective within 30 days of purchase, return it to Mictron for a free replacement. Any time thereafter, replacements will be subject to a $5 service charge. You know, here's the weird thing, though. I made copies of this disk. I would never use the original disk. This has barely ever been used. I would immediately stick this in drive A, a blank in drive B, copy the thing over, and that's what I played my game through. I didn't even know there was copy protection on this thing. Time Bandit is only the first of the projects we have planned for the Atari ST. I wonder what else they did. Whether bigger or better things are yet to come depends on the stand that you, the Atari users, take on helping us protect our software. Yeah, I never gave copies away. I didn't get into software piracy or anything like that. Now, I don't even believe in piracy as a thing, but buy your own copy of a book, you know? I'll let you borrow it, but I'm not going to let you, like, freaking just not, pay what you need to pay. Copyright and disclaimer, trademark stuff, purchaser is expressly forbidden to loan or rent this documentation. Wait a minute, what? To loan or rent this program or its documentation to others. Wow, now we're into the real... Mictron doesn't exist anymore. This is definitely abandonware. I don't even know how that would have worked back then. Introduction. Now it gets into actually how to run the thing, what buttons to hit, and all that kind of stuff, but we already saw that. It's kind of a text adventure and an arcade game into one. It's really cool. You'll find everything from frenzied shoot-'em-ups to a lively dot-eating game. Yeah, some of the lands contain text messages, text adventure messages. Some of them are just arcade-type skill things. Sometimes you must answer riddles, manipulate items, and solve the mystery of the enshrouding land. It is a wonderful game. It is a deep game. Put the disc in the computer. Turn on the computer. Double-click bandit.prg. Yeah. Here's the time gates. You go to one things, ladders and pits, red pulsing transporter discs. You may do other things. Objectives. Once you've entered a land, get the key, use it on the lock, find the way out. We know that. Shooting anything that moves, basically, is an evil guardian. You get money. You get a new life for every 1,000 qubits, period. Adventures. Noun-verb format. Get, hammer, open box, that kind of stuff. Hazards, portals, all that kind of stuff. Get and use, lots of things. Look around. Dual player mode in Shadows talks about that. Controls. P activates your unlimited time stop spell. Press space. It's the pause key. Unlimited time stop spell. Volume. Use the volume knob on the monitor. Yeah, that's not how we do it now. The computer and the keyboard used to be one unit, as you can see there. The screen and the speakers were one unit, and the brightness and volume knobs were just off of what you can see on the picture here. The pivot technique. Let us know what you think. You can write to the authors as if. I don't think they're still at this this address in Telegraph, Michigan. Love the book, though. On the one side, we got the castle. Can we see this? I can turn the overhead light on. On the one side, we got the castle thing, and on the back, we got this guy. Pretty cool stuff. The ultimate Atari ST arcade game. Yeah, I hope so. 2 more pieces of paper in here. Registration warranty card. I should probably send that in. And some sort of advertisement for some kind of BBS. The Griffin BBS. Oh, wow, they had their own. That's amazing. Never would have been able to get that much long distance to do that, though. Overhead light can go off. All right. Well, we could play again, but we've had a lovely stream. I documented what I intended to document. I'd like to edit this down and get it sent up to YouTube. So I think we're going to cut it off here. I appreciate everyone who came out tonight. I hope that this video makes it to somebody who can help me get this disc. This disc, read and copied, needs to be on archive.org, right? I just really, really hope that that thing still works. I'd love to see how it works. I'd love to dissect the thing and find out how it did what it did. Freaking Game Genie for the Atari ST. It only did it for this one thing, and I never had any other cheats or any other special stuff for any other game on this computer. That's the only one I've ever had, and that's the one and only original disc that we were given, handwritten by that guy. So I will see you next time. Saturday is usually a pretty good day. We'll be playing Deponia as we usually do. And until then, over and out.